Yet Trump has threatened almost all of them with either imprisonment, lawsuits, or censoring, which is why this one section of this weekend's rally in Pennsylvania was so striking, when Elon Musk was discussing why he supports Donald Trump.
The other side wants to take away your freedom of speech. You must have free speech in order to have democracy. That's why it's the First Amendment.
Were you not watching the rest of the show? A movie Trump doesn't like is going to get sued. A tech mogul he doesn't like, he wants to put in prison. It's not free speech if only Trump's admirers get to do it without consequence.
Jon Stewart is back on The Daily Show, taking aim at Elon Musk and his so-called defense of free speech. Now, look, Stewart is right about some things and wrong about others, but here he's got a point. Musk takes over Twitter on October 28th, 2022, talks a big game, but hasn't made a single change to protect free speech on the platform. Meanwhile, his pal Donald Trump is out here suing and silencing anyone who disagrees. On this one, Jon Stewart is hitting the mark, and The Daily Show highlights exactly how this so-called free speech movement is more about power than actual free speech. If only Musk's free speech worked both ways.
That's just not how it works. That way. I don't see how his support of free speech is expose the belly-worthy. I just don't. But at least the Constitution remains intact and is there to ensure that we have the First Amendment.
The Second Amendment is there to ensure that we have the First Amendment.
Guns don't protect our free speech. Our free speech is protected by the consent of the governed, laid out through the Constitution. It's not based on the threat of violence. It's based on elections, organizing, referendums, a judicial system. Our social contract offers many avenues to remedy these issues and allows sides to be heard and adjudicated.
Jon Stewart on The Daily Show tries to brush off the importance of the Second Amendment, but let's look at what he said when gun seemed to mostly protect the speech of the people holding the gun. Well, exactly, John. The Second Amendment ensures that self-defense is a fundamental right for the people. It's not about encouraging violence. It's about ensuring that the power stays with citizens to protect themselves and their rights. That includes the First Amendment. So yes, free speech is protected in part because people have the means to defend themselves if needed. But Jon Stewart and The Daily Show seem to miss that point.
Guns, from what I can tell, seem to mostly protect the speech of the people holding the gun. It's a tool of intimidation. If I may finish, listen, motherfuckers, I'm not done. It is a tool of intimidation, and one that I think is actually being irresponsibly and recklessly invoked because some people in your crowd thought they might have been shadow banned by Facebook. For God's sakes, you guys are in Butler, Pennsylvania. The whole reason you're there is because some king asshole with an AR-15 tried to permanently litigate his vision of this country's free speech. That's why you're there. The whole point of a society is guns don't decide it. I would prefer at this moment not to trade in a government that offers me many remedies for my concerns, legitimate or illegitimate, for a situation where my rights are determined by how many militia members agree with me. The country ain't perfect. And there's a lot of issues we don't agree on. Choice, immigration, shrinkflation of snack chips, the unholy marriage of penguins and hippos. But honestly, dude, a country that can adjudicate these complicated issues through a sometimes frustrating, overly bureaucratic constitutional system of checks and balances and peaceful transfer of power is the only kind of country that I want the children of Pesto and Mudang to grow up in.
So Jon Stewart on The Daily Show closes by saying, guns don't decide it. But here's the reality. An armed populace acts as a check on government overreach. It's not about solving every problem with violence, like Stewart implies. It's about maintaining the ability to defend against tyranny. Guns aren't there to intimidate. They're there as a deterrent to make sure that the government can't just steamroll over your rights. And let's be real, Jon Stewart says he doesn't want his rights determined by militia members. Newsflash, it's not about militia groups ruling the country. It's about keeping government power in check when it grows too large or bureaucratic to offer actual remedies. That's what the Second Amendment is for. We aren't here to let guns decide everything, but to make sure freedom is protected when the system fails. Sure, our system isn't perfect, but bureaucracy often fails to protect individual rights. Libertarians will tell you decentralization and less government are how you cut through that inefficiency and ensure individual freedoms come first. Waiting on the government to solve all your problems? Yeah, good luck with that. And that's exactly what we do here on After Show Carnage. We break down the nonsense piece by piece to show you what's really going on. If you like this breakdown, hit that subscribe button and smash the like to stay updated on all the ways we tear apart these political games. Comment below with your thoughts. Do you think the Second Amendment is about tyranny or intimidation? Let's hear it. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss out on the carnage.